Hello everyone, it's Tailz from Studio Wildfire here, and today we're having a look at the Yanks Token Pack, a collection of World War II American soldiers and vehicles. This pack has just been updated, so you can use it in Foundry virtual tabletop. So the pack comes with a number of American soldiers. Now I've already set up the tokens just here, so I can just quickly pop them out. I'll show you how to set up the tokens in a moment, but let's just have a quick little look at the characters. Now I've set it up so that as I pull out each one, it's doing a wildcard selection through each token within that individual character set. So here, that's the first paratrooper, then we've got another paratrooper. As you can see, it sort of pops down different poses. Then another fellow. This guy's on a bike. And a couple where he's not on the bike. Oh, and he's dead. Then we've got another one, the paratrooper. Now, how to configure the tokens so that they look at the correct scale and everything, because this is a 5 foot by 5 foot character square. What you do, I'll just go into the prototype section. So once you've downloaded the pack and you've put the files into your Foundry data folder, obviously create yourself a character. These are NPCs that I've created. First start by going and selecting the image from the image path. So I've put them in. So I've got a token artwork folder within my data folder. I've then created another folder within that called the Yanks, and then within there is a folder called American Paratrooper 1. As you can see, there's a lot of images within that one folder, and it's of the single character in a different number of poses. So what you do is you just select the one that you want to use, go select. Now, what I've done to make it so that each time I draw out one of the soldiers, it's placed with a different graphic, is you use the wildcard feature. So if we come back here to the control box, you'll see underneath image path is a second option here called randomize wildcard images. What you want to do is tick the little box, then go into the file name path, go right the way to the end, and you'll see on the image that it's got 4 digits at the end of it. So this is the very first one, so it starts off with 0000. So for example, there's 00000, then there's 0001, 0002. So leaving it as is at the moment, it'll just use this one image. But if we take out those zeros and put a star in its place, the star acts as a wildcard, so it will allow the program to draw any of those images out and put in any number. So it could, when you go to put out a token, it could be dragging out 0023 or 0045 or whatever like that. But that's how you do it. Now, the next thing is to make certain it's sized correctly. All of my human size or medium sized creatures, I'm using down in the size system here, you want to uncheck the link to act the size. Then you want to have dimensions 1 by 1, because these are 1 character square human person. Then scale, set it to 2, because if you see here, if we just left it as 1 to 1 and 1, it would try and squish, and if we look at this guy here, it would try and squish him within that 1 square. And as we can see, his gun's poking out the top here, so we want a bit of overhang, seeing as there's a bit of shadow sticking out here, and you can really clearly see it with this bike. I'll just scroll down here a bit. You can clearly see it with the bike, the front wheels sticking out, the back wheels section sticking out. So we want a bit of overlap, and that's where the scaling comes in. Let's update the token. Let's get rid of him. And so every time we drag him out, it comes out with a different picture. You know, obviously don't use the wildcard system if you want to be able to choose which graphic you're using. So for example, if you're putting down a dead guy, you want the wounded token down. That's how you do the human-sized people. There's also vehicles in there, and there's also an artillery piece. So for example, here's the artillery piece. Now, large vehicles or large characters. For example, you know, if there's a giant. You know, here's the truck. Here's the. Whoops. Just unclick that. Here's the Willys Overland Jeep. Now, with each of these, they require a different size. So, for example, the truck is 3 by 3 squares in size. Is its area. The artillery piece is 2 by 2. The Jeep 2 by 2. And once again with the Jeep, get rid of that. Once again with the Jeep, I've set it so that it will draw as a wildcard. It'll draw out any of the images that are in the folder. Now, with the large vehicles, they have a different scaling. So if we just have a look at the Jeep, go to the appearance, and we'll go to the file folder. Okay, so this is the name of the folder just here, where it says Willys Overland-Jeep. Now the important bit is at the end of the file name folder name -2x2, which means the image or on the game grid, it needs to take up 2 by 2 character squares, and then the -2 at the end is the scale, which you can just close out of that, which is down here. So 2 by 2, that's the grid dimensions, scale 2. So if you follow that, you'll scale, all of the things will scale up correctly. So for example, you'll get the truck. He'll pop in to take up a 3 by 3 square, and if we have a look here, so he's 3 by 3, and he's got a scale of 2. So follow those instructions, and everything will look perfectly fine. And that is the Yanks Token Pack. Obviously, there's a bit more than what I've displayed. You know, there's lots of different characters. There's a few different vehicles. So let's just quickly, actually, I'll duplicate the truck, and then let's make it. So we've displayed the truck. Let's go with the ambulance. So once again, I'm going to make this use the randomizer. So I'm going to take out the 4 digits and put in the star. I think it was now this is where the size factor comes in. So you want to link to actor size. Change this to 3 by 3. I'm pretty certain the scale is 2. Now, one thing I've noticed that Foundry seems to be doing is sometimes it doesn't save this size, so I've had to go and reset it. 3 by 3 update. Usually, doing it the second time, it'll remember it, and dunk, there's the ambulance. So everything's scaled correctly. So I hope you have a lot of fun playing with the Yanks Token Pack. Thank you.